Shows a glimpse of what life was like for WNBA star Brittney Griner inside Russian prison. She spent her days carrying fabric because she was too tall to sit at the sewing tables. Worked. Her bed was too small for her 6'9" frame. Griner was arrested back in February for traveling with hashish oil, a substance banned in Russia. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison in August. Her release part of a prisoner swap for Victor Bout, a convicted Russian.
Hold on. Brittney Griner is being accused of assaulting Caitlin Clark while incarcerated in a Russian male jail. This isn't your typical sports headline. This is a major scandal. Caitlin Clark, America's sweetheart, was just elbowed on live television by one of the most controversial talents in the WNBA. But what came next? You won't believe it. You'll be completely shocked by it. It's all about who she is. Oh, and we'll uncover everything. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Surprisingly, over 90% of our viewers are still not subscribed. Subscribing is completely free, takes just a second, and helps us create more videos like this. So, have you subscribed yet? If you have, thank you. We truly appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to the video.
But apparently, Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Physicians are stepping in, and what they're revealing about Griner's medical background has shocked the entire league. We are discussing voice patterns and bone structure.
Caitlin Clark did not back down when the Atlanta Dream got chippy with her. Especially Ryan Howard was trying to get on Caitlin her nerves, but she kept cooking her. And they were face guarding her the entire game like she was prime Steph Curry.
There's a lot of bumping and like that. There's some words between the two players as Nas Hilton quickly.
And at the end of this altercation, you can clearly see Caitlin Clark say, "I'm not scared of you." And Howard continued to be provocative. And after Caitlin drew this offensive foul on Brittney Griner, it looked like she was pretty annoyed with her.
Brittney moved.
And here she gets clearly fouled. And again, they were chirping at her afterwards.
Shooting 31. They came in the season. Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark finding a way to...
And here, Brittney Griner picked up her 6th foul and had to sit for the rest of the game. You could clearly see what she was saying.
Talking about earlier today.
Instagram videos that should never have been made, and AI scanning. Is Brittney Griner the person she claims to be? Did the WNBA conceal it because they knew? I assure you, this goes far beyond basketball. And because this could be the largest scandal in the history of women's sports, Griner is in a panic. Stay tuned, because what we discovered could completely alter your perception of the WNBA. Let's go back to that pivotal moment, Mercury versus Fever. It's a high-intensity battle, but in an instant, it becomes personal.
But my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
Not only does Brittney Griner mistreat Caitlin Clark, but she launches an elbow without hesitation. It wasn't just one of those bumps in the heat of the game either. No. This appeared calculated. Through your screen, you could sense the tension building. Despite stumbling, Clark did not strike back. She continued to play. However, social media did not overlook it. People began enlarging Griner's face, and after that, everything exploded. Fans' fears were seemingly validated by lip readers. In front of millions of people on national television, Griner allegedly spoke offensively toward a white girl. Here's the thing. In basketball, trash talk happens. Everyone is aware of that. However, things went too far and became more dangerous, racial, and ugly. And the league has yet to respond. No outright offense, no declaration, no penalty, nothing. As if they were blind to it or unwilling to confront it. Fans, however, were not going to overlook this. The spark was simply the elbow. A barrage of inquiries followed, and what was discovered later expanded the scope of the story far beyond the basketball floor.
Women have a league. As far as I understand, it's mostly women without penises, but I leave that to you to figure it. Well, it's actually a little unclear because this Brittney Griner, a lot of people think she's a dude. But in any event, Brittney Griner is a black basketball player who some people think is a man. I don't know. I guess she's a woman. Let's just say she's a woman. Here's a chick, a black chick. Brittney Griner's a fine player, I suppose. We'll get to that in a minute.
Kate, this is where it starts to feel like a documentary on Netflix. Experts in sports medicine suddenly began offering their opinions. No, they weren't discussing Griner's numbers or playmaking. They were discussing her biology. Physicians, therapists, and even AI analysts started examining Griner's physical characteristics, including her shoulders, bone structure, and rate of injury recovery. As one analyst put it, that's not typical for a female athlete, especially not at this level.
Flag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, it's a brick.
I'm
swing and miss.
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Swag is down for
All right, we can stop it.
It wasn't animosity. It wasn't trolling. Professionals were highlighting something that had been missed or perhaps even concealed. The buzz began at that point. In addition to questioning the elbow, many people questioned whether the league had ever adequately verified Griner's eligibility to compete in the WNBA. Should the league disregard concerns raised by doctors? Let's discuss the receipts, because everything in the modern world creates a digital trail. Griner's previous Instagram story resurfaced. The fact that she was topless in the picture drew attention, but there was nothing new about it. It was simply there for the world to see, with no blurring or visible surgical scars. Here's the worst part. Instagram did not remove it. Yeah.
Talk about it, guys. Again, allegedly, it could be any number of things, but my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity.
If you're familiar with Instagram's AI filters, you know they're highly effective at identifying nudity, particularly women's nudity. However, this particular filter remained active for more than 2 years.
She gets bodied, dude, like NFL linebacker style.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah. Look at this. Clock her ass, man.
Yeah, black women hate her.
Dude, I don't even see like LeBron get battered like this.
Yeah.
And he, like, somebody has bad breath and they breathe on him and he goes flying back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she actually spoke out for black women. There's just a black women's league.
Yeah, she's like a leftist.
She's like a cuck for black women.
Yeah,
and they beat the crap out of her.
Well, that's what happens when you cuck out to people. They don't respect you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she did it to hope to get that respect. Yeah, that is not going to work.
Look at this.
You getting way too much attention. You making all this money and endorsements. They're jealous of you. She's like the face of that league.
Yeah, and she's the only person like really putting butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Therefore, it either failed to identify female anatomy or the algorithm was flawed. Consider that her gender was not recognized by the AI system of a billion-dollar corporation. What can we infer from that? Can AI make mistakes? Yes. But do you trust it more than a sports league that won't say anything? What's worse than a scandal, you ask? A deception. And this is beginning to feel like that. The WNBA has remained silent, nothing in the way of a statement, explanation, or apology to Caitlin Clark. Imagine now that the roles were switched. Would the league remain silent if Caitlin had racially insulted Brittney and elbowed her?
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going. He played on girls' sports teams because his papers said he was a girl. He had to keep pretending in college, stay in women's teams, and now he just has to keep barely pretending to stay in the WNBA. But in all other ways, he lives life as a man. He wears men's clothes, dates and married a woman, has masculine features, and takes masculine roles. If not for his mother's insanity, he would be a mediocre male player. Yeah. And honestly, that may even be a little bit generous.
Precisely. Not only is the silence strange, but it's also suspicious. Fans are intelligent too. We observe what's taking place, even if it means disregarding medical experts and essentially allowing a player like Clark to suffer the consequences. The NFL is defending its reputation. If a league ignored something like this, would you continue to watch? Alright, let's return to the doctors. They conducted a thorough checklist based on years of expert observation rather than laboratory testing. Skeletal structure, muscle composition, recovery rates, and speech patterns were all being discussed. Furthermore, some claim this was not typical of female elite athletes. Even her history of injuries sparked curiosity. Most WNBA players required time to recover from physical strain. Griner, however, was described as bouncing back like an NFL linebacker. It's not shade either. That's the claim being made. Complete biological verification, including chromosomal testing, hormone analysis, and bone density scans, is now being demanded by some commentators. Fairness in women's sports is important, not because they want to embarrass anyone, but because competitive integrity matters.
I feel sorry for him because all of his success depends on him maintaining the lie he's lived with for his whole life. Of course, Russia gives zero shits and will treat him as the male he is. Maybe it'll be a refreshing change from him. And this is with, of course, fact that there was some speculation that Brittney Griner was actually put in a...
Every athlete ought to compete on an even playing field, right? This isn't only about bones and bruises. Mental health experts have also entered the discussion, and some of the commentary surrounding the incident has been disturbing. That alleged slur, that elbow, it was portrayed as being more than simply basketball. Some commentators described it as an unusually controlled reaction, suggesting it went deeper than simple anger. Others have speculated about personal pressure, identity struggles, or something significant being hidden, but those remain claims rather than established facts. Sadly, Caitlin Clark ended up becoming the outlet for all of that tension. Now picture yourself as Caitlin. You enter the league as a rookie phenom, put the spotlight on the sport, and then a veteran player allegedly attacks you in front of millions of people. What message does that send to all the other young women involved in the sport? If this is how the WNBA responds, what kind of culture is it fostering? Let's discuss the potential repercussions. This isn't only a debate. If questions about a player's eligibility were ever substantiated through legitimate testing and applicable rules, the consequences could be significant. Imagine losing an Olympic opportunity or college scholarship because of an eligibility dispute. For some athletes, that wouldn't just feel unfair, it could affect their entire careers. Attorneys are already beginning to raise questions.